And the main components for this evening will be, number one, be your avatar. Number two, be love, love, love. And number three, consciously tune in to the field that we create. Be the field. And to do that, sometimes what helps is to expand your field beyond your body, just enough to where the walls soften and you begin to feel as your edges soften that you're registering now in the quantum. And there may be moments when the mudra is together, both hands are together, and sometimes when they're apart. Okay, so let's all just have another few moments. There it goes. And then finally, we just recognize our intent to be guided in this process of participating consciously in what we experience as our reality for the good of all. And this evening, we will be linking into Omni Galactic Center as I see the red channel of light coming through so that we're impeccable in how we act. So the guidance will come from. Okay. So if you're able, establish that red beam touching into your soul star and your crown chakra and into your third eye. Okay, awesome. Okay, very nice. Thank you. Okay, so I'm going to minimize here. I'm going to share a little bit about my experience with this phenomena of working with the weather. So as I mentioned before, years ago, we were really in a serious drought, and the meditation group that was meeting here on a regular basis in our pavilion, we were working every month. We only met once a month back then, and just taking guidance. And there were fires, and there was one even when there was a fire up the coast, and we were guided to reverse the wind. And so we nodded yes, and really within about 15 minutes, 10, 15 minutes, I don't remember the time frame, all of a sudden you could feel it shift. And this very, very cool breeze started coming right into the because it's a little bit open air. And that's apparently when it reversed the flow of the winds coming down through the canyons and let it back burn into itself, and it got the fire out. And there was some structures up there and some campers and things like that. So that was a very beautiful one that got out quickly. And then the last one, the Thomas fire, many of us worked on the very critical evening when it was coming through Palmer Park and up and over. It would have blasted through with the way the winds were acting right over as one hilly residential area, and potentially could have come down the Riviera into the city. And everybody just intended reverse winds. And it happened mysteriously, according to the fire chief, at midnight on that Saturday night. So in addition, I want to say a little bit more. So I do have my water engineer that I get to talk to, and he's a conscious guy. And so we've discussed exactly what it takes in our region. And I'm thinking also of the West Coast and just the suffering. It's we suffer and our structures suffer, but what really gets me are the ancient trees that are the life of this planet, and of course all the four-leggeds and the birds, and the ones under the ground. All of that is such an important part of our consciousness. So while I do it for humans, my heart really more goes for the trees, for what they provide for our planet and for the area of the West Coast. So I'm going to have you just look at your screen if you can see it, and I want you to see the difference between La Nina and El Nino. And so La Nina comes as a clockwise flow. And this is what my guide told me. It's a high pressure system out here that does this and this. And it just takes and it creates this dry area here, which can really take all of this here. El Nino goes counterclockwise. And so I think of this as a masculine flow. This is a feminine flow. So when I was tuning in tonight, I was presented with the possibility of the balance between the masculine and the feminine. La Nina is the child feminine, El Nino is the child masculine. So we will be guided by the higher sources in our work. I also want to say that right in the middle of a big drought, a friend and I worked with some very dedicated journeying to see the source of La Nina and the El Ninos, the source of the La Nina that was coming through. And we actually saw it from around the world. There was something that was coming, and it's hard to describe, but it was coming out of Africa, going across the Atlantic, all the way across the US, and instigating this imbalance that was occurring. And so we worked on it on the quantum, probably for a total of 6 to 8 hours over a period of time. And when we finished our work, it started raining about 2 weeks later. So I'm happy to say it's a coincidence, but more likely I want to empower you by noting these examples so that we don't do this work with attachment, but we do it because if we can contribute and be a part of a balancing situation, we're available. The other thing I want to say is that unfortunately what happened with the Thomas fire, we had, just a decimation of the brush and trees in our backcountries. And so one night on, I believe it was January 9th, we had a storm like they've never had. It was a 500-year storm, and just dumped and dumped and dumped, especially over one area in Montecito. My suspicion was that it was not purely nature, but that's a discussion for another time. So people are afraid of rain. They got afraid of rain, like, oh, I hope it doesn't, like this. I hope it doesn't. And it's like, they've put many things in place in the backcountry now to handle a better flow of water. They hadn't managed that for a long time. So I want to say, to that. The other thing I want to say, which is of interest to me, is that I had this thought kind of came through, and that is this summer has been inexplicably, there, I got that word out, cool. In all the years I've lived here, it's never been this pleasant. there's been times when it's been foggy and cold and gray and doesn't break up. But this has been really cool here in the mornings, and then it might burn off, 1 or 2, and a high is 75. Oh my gosh, people come in, oh, it's really hot out there. You guys, 95 to 100 is hot for Santa Barbara. So we've had this absolutely gorgeous summer. And I've also noted that in our area here, we've had really, really decent numbers of cases of the virus, meaning other places around us are much higher. And I'm feeling that, and I was feeling like, well, we have these beings now who are kind of just willing to hold these frequencies and walk around and be, and that will have a positive effect on a living situation. And we have our meditations here, and we move the energy out. And then I went, oh, well, maybe. And then my Michelle picked up a book, and she just started reading, like, well, when the consciousness of a certain amount of people happen, viruses will not be as strong in one city as compared to another. I mean, I didn't even ask about it. I didn't even mention that to her. So I want to say that I want to thank you all for every moment that you're able to assume your mudra and just be silent. Shut off your internal dialogue and breathe for a few moments, a few minutes, an hour, whatever it is, because it really, really is contributing, I believe, to our possibility. Okay. So thank you for that, just taking that in and holding space for us. And then we're going to go in and take in whatever guidance that we're doing this evening for the good of all, not just so that little Santa Barbara or LA or Atlanta or wherever you all are is protected, but that we really work with the balance. That's what I would say. Okay, so I'm going to invite you once again to close your eyes. Find your breath. Find your heart in the breath. And find your inner reality core. So let that include your central channel. Draw your attention to move down through your reality core, right in the center of your body, and then gently expand that sense of self, sense of placement in this field. Expand to include the field as it registers on the quantum. And then find your mudra and open to receive fully your avatar frequency. Feel it. See if you can really feel it. Inviting it all the way through from the 7th dimension, all the way through 5D, and into this um, timeline of 5D, 3D, 5D, 3D, two timelines coexisting, superimposed, if you will, and allowing your frequency to be the bridge between density reality and the spiritualized reality of 5D, the blessed and holy. So expand, expand, expand to be the bridge. And I hope you're able to feel it all the way down to your root chakra, perhaps even into your feet. And let that 7D frequency expand your molecules. And then raise the vibration of your molecules. In other words, bringing your density body up to speed with your light body and quantum body. And expand to include that. Allow your breath to inform your field. Allowing it to expand. Expanding softly into density. Releasing all fear of doing so. Okay, lovely. You can just keep coming back to your mudra if your mind has, we all can have many thoughts about this, and just observe them as thoughts. Allow your mudra, as it subtly moves, to inform your molecules. There you go. Nice. And now we're ready to receive the red beam. Allow it to move comfortably wherever feels like being. Front chakra, third eye, all the way down your central channel. And the direction is allow for this period of time, this avatar frequency to be more predominant than your personal history. So allow the avatar frequency to expand through your back body, through all held attachments. There you go. And I see that the red ray is participating in this to assist you in releasing even more of your personal history so that you may be more that every remaining piece, personal history, begins to break up to reveal its own lesson that it's been holding for you. So you may receive or experience or know or intuit the lesson in a more accelerated way of knowledge rather than stimulation. And now allowing that red ray to kind of move to the back body in 2 or 3 cylinders depending on how you're feeling in your current embodiment. And we present the dilemma of our weather imbalances. And may we present ourselves as this Council of Avatar frequencies as mitigators of this imbalance. The answer is yes. And I say we are ready and prepared for instruction. And the message is, you are as one with me. Be as one. I receive your intent. Observe as one. Observe as the one. Observe as one. That which is in imbalance. Observe. And here we're going to observe the extreme dry and hot conditions on the West Coast and the extreme wet and storm-laden conditions of the East Coast, the hot and dry, the wet and cold. We observe those in the extremes they have been manifesting. So that's our observation as now. And by direction from Omni Galactic Center. We'll observe. Observe and be. And allow your density hands in the formation of the mudra you hold to move intuitively as you participate in the balance. As you participate in observing. Be as one. Observing. As the one, observe yourself as observing. Observe as the one. And now observe as love. Observe as love. The balance has begun. Love to the inner child. And now we're asked to observe if we're able to what has created the imbalance. You may observe something installed in the planetary grid that does not serve the planet anymore. I would, on a personal note, direct you to Africa. And it appears as an iron grate for parts of Africa. Observe, observe, observe. And you may be able to observe or have a sense of more light coming into the planetary grid. A lightning, perhaps. And into this light grid, we now call forth 5D frequencies of Aknar. Aknar, blessed holiness. Aknar. Aknar. Kenja. Kenja. Aknar Kenja. Kai. Ma. Ma being matter, Ma being divine mother. Aknar Kenja Kaima, balance, restored. Aknar Kenja Kaima, balance, restored. Aknar Kenja Kaima, restored. One more time. Kenja Kaima, balance, restored. And we will remain as observers, holding this intent. Aknar means blessed holiness. Kenja is absolute presence. Kai is intent. Ma is manifestation, intensity, restoration of balance, restoration of balance. And feel those 5D frequencies coming through you if you are able. Restore balance. And this includes the balance between light and dark. The masculine and the feminine. Expansion and contraction, evolution and entropy. The balance. And I say to you in these final moments, attention to the back body. Intend resolving karma. Narkenja Kaima, karma resolved. So we bow our heads here in gratitude to the presence emanating from Omni Galactic Center towards our intent. May we remain as presence to this intention, observers to this intention, council, the council of observers to this intention. May our field of intent go out and embrace the planet, embrace the hearts of women and men who are willing to hold this frequency of intent. And we send this, intend this to them in this moment. And we allow the avatar frequencies to embrace the human bodies and the remaining human consciousness and bless our humanity. Mm. And I personally, both as human and as avatar, bless you. I'm just coming to a close here. I'm going to leave you to your frequency. I'm going to leave you to your moment. I'm going to leave you to your heart. And we will meet again and continue in this project. Humble servants, with great presence. Namaste.